I think as a child, I've always loved pretty things, the shiny stuff, the glamorous stuff.
Yeah.
My mom always used to call me in Spanish, Niño Rico Pobre, meaning I'm a poor rich kid, because I loved everything that was fancy and expensive.
Yeah.
And you don't get it from me or your dad, but you're just like drawn to it. I've always liked nice things, and doing what we
Yeah.
do in the beauty industry, especially being a makeup artist, is we make people feel good. What I love is the reaction and the feeling that they feel after getting their makeup done.
Sorry. It's discontinued. Well, hi there. Welcome to Sorry, It's Discontinued. I'm Hilary, your host, and I'm so glad you're here, just truly. Now, this week, we are shining the spotlight on someone whose presence in the Houston beauty scene is just as incredible as the brands he's worked for. I am so thankful to say I've known him for over half his life. Yeah, I know, it's hard to believe because I'm so young, but I have seen his career just bloom. Oscar. Oscar grew up right here in Sugar Land, Texas, and graduated from Kempner High School in 2005 before earning his medical assistant degree in phlebotomy from Remington College. But it was the beauty world that really, truly called to him. His career began with luxury icons like Chanel, Laura Mercier, and Chantecaille, three brands known for their artistry first approach. At Laura Mercier, where the brand's philosophy is what makes you unique, makes you beautiful. Now, Oscar embraced the vision of enhancing natural beauty with effortless elegance. The brand, founded by celebrity makeup artist Laura Mercier herself, was one of the first to popularize the flawless face technique, creating a fresh, glowing skin that's now a staple in every artist's playbook. Oscar helped bring that timeless artistry to life, one client at a time. Then came Chantecaille, a brand beloved not only for its botanical-based formulas, but also for its dedication to conservation, partnering with global wildlife causes to raise awareness through limited edition products. With its roots in French skincare, science, and holistic, cruelty-free mission, Chantecaille gave Oscar the opportunity to marry beauty with purpose. It wasn't just about selling a product, it was about creating a memory and a message. Now today, he brings that same heart and talent to his role as general manager of Jentry Kelley Cosmetics, a brand he's been a huge part of for the past 14 years, serving in his current leadership role for the last 4. Oscar's signature style is all about connection, compassion, and showing each client just how beautiful they already are. Now, whether he's leading the JKC team or creating flawless looks behind the brush, Oscar's dedication is a driving force behind the brand's loyal following, one that continues to grow through word of mouth and heartfelt referrals. Now, outside of work, you'll find Oscar enjoying life with his partner Enrique, exploring new restaurants, going to concerts, traveling, and spending quality time with his friends and family. I am just so thankful that he fit SID into his schedule and that I can highlight him today. So let's get into it with Oscar. I'm so excited for you to meet him. Oscar, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Sorry, It's Discontinued.
Oh,
Thank you
for
for
having me.
doing this. It's been so long since I've seen you and we've gotten together, and I've just seen you just grow into this amazing artist. So thankful that you're here, and I just can't wait to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited. I know it has been a long time since we haven't seen each other, so I'm
It
excited to
has
chat.
been. I
Yes.
know. So, well, first off, so thank you for doing this today because I know it's a Sunday. You know, actually, it's Father's Day too. But how's your weekend been? Have you had a good weekend so far?
Yeah, actually, this weekend it's my weekend day off, like, because I usually work almost every Saturday.
Okay.
But this
Makes sense.
Saturday I was off, and so just relaxed, hanging out with family. I did help my partner out because he does work for his cousin's flower company and some of his friends, and so we do what we call like a pickup, like a strike. So we go to the weddings and pick up all the flowers, and then take it off to the shop, unload everything. So that was my weekend, and then today's Sunday, just hanging out with my partner and had breakfast, and
Oh,
now I'm
oh,
chatting with you.
good. Oh, good. I'm curious. So, when you say a pickup, is that do you take flowers that are still left over at the venue?
Yeah, so basically, when you go to a wedding, they decorate the whole entire venue, right?
Right?
And at the end of the wedding, somebody has to come and pick all that up.
I never thought
So,
about it.
so we go and pick up flowers. So usually on Sundays, the house looks like a wedding venue because it's full of flowers.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
but
Do you get
that
to keep some of them
we do.
too?
Yeah,
Wow.
so
That
it's
sounds
always pretty here.
dreamy. Aw. Do you have a
Yeah.
favorite flower?
Roses, really. Roses and gardenias.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm just excited to go back in your story, really the beginning when you were younger, and just how did you get involved in or find that you loved fashion, beauty, because where you are in Houston, what an incredible career you've had. You
Oh, thank
really
you.
are just, you're a superstar. And I admire that about you because you really put yourself out there. And now what you're doing is amazing. So, when you were younger, like, did you fall in love with beauty or fashion, fragrance? Were there things that you were passionate about that really kind of got you excited? And
I
how did
feel
that
like,
go?
yeah, I think as a child, I've always loved pretty things, the shiny stuff, the glamorous stuff. My mom always used to call me in Spanish, Niño rico pobre, meaning I'm a poor rich kid, because I loved everything that was fancy and expensive.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you get this taste? Like, because you don't get it from me or your dad, but you're just like drawn to it. And I was like, I don't know. I've always liked nice things,
Yeah.
and being in the beauty industry, I think that's kind of like something that I can hold on to and actually kind of give back to people. Doing what we
Yeah.
do in the beauty industry, especially being a makeup artist, is we make people feel good. I think that's kind of the perk of what I do and what I love is the reaction and the feeling that they feel after getting their makeup done, or
Definitely. Yeah,
so
that's one of my favorite things. I can
yeah.
totally understand just making somebody feel good, beautiful, and help support them during a big event or a day in their life, or
Mhm.
just uplift. So when you were younger and you were in love with all these beautiful things, there was there like a style or things like going back to like elementary school or middle school, high school when you really kind of started to play around with your style?
Yeah, I think for me, it started with more kind of like fashion, more always being super preppy. That was my style. And
Okay.
just, growing up with like Abercrombie and like all these other fashion houses and stuff like that, so that I could afford at that time. That was what I was drawn to. So,
Those
um,
styles.
yeah. So I've
Yeah.
always, that's how I started off with. And then as I grew older, because I didn't come out until very late in my life. I obviously couldn't. I didn't do anything with makeup until later, into my late teens, is when my sisters started using makeup, and I was like, oh, here, let me help you. And I started doing their makeup. But it's something that I really never wanted to pursue, for the fact being, Mexican and having a dad who's very macho.
Yeah.
That was, taboo, and you shouldn't do
Yeah.
that. And it was very like, so I kind of steered away from that. And I
Yeah.
would probably like hide it here and there with helping my sisters, or he'll notice that I'm too constantly in my mom's mirror with her. And so when I would catch him kind of like looking at me, I would kind of like back up a little bit and just like
Mm.
start, you know,
So you felt like you had to play a part. You couldn't really be true to yourself,
yeah.
who you were at that time.
But yeah, as I grew older, I would do, friends' makeups here and there. And then how I kind of started it all was, Lucy. She used
Yeah,
to
of
work with you
course.
at Dillard's. So at that time, I would always come to the counter. It was you working there, Lucy. And I think Santa was the counter manager at that time.
Oh, that's 2004. How old were you around that time?
I was like 16 or 17 at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was 17. And
I didn't realize
so
I know you that long.
I know. And I'm about to be 40. Can you believe that?
No, you're not allowed.
Yeah.
But you still look like you're 20, so it's okay.
Uh,
Score. Check.
I know, right? So yeah, just I remember Lucy working there, and I would always visit her, go into the mall because that's, I grew up in Sugarland. And so I would go to the mall, buy my fragrances. Chanel was my thing. So I would buy my, Chanel blue at that time. And I was like, that was my little piece of luxury, right? So
Yeah.
therefore,
Yeah.
I would always come and visit and chit chat with Lucy, go to lunch, and I would see you, and that's how I knew a little bit about you, and then Santa as well. And
Yeah.
so
You were
so
able to
yeah,
play
so
around with color and like just falling in love with the fragrance at that time and
yeah,
just kind of being immersed in it
hmm
starting
and
before
and
high school.
having Lucy just be one of my best friends, and she was a makeup
Yeah.
artist at that time too. So just chit chatting and hanging out with her, and then meeting y'all and stuff like that. And I feel like that's how I kind of started dabbling a little bit into more of makeup. And then one day I remember I asked Lucy, I was like, I'm looking for a job, and she goes, well, I'm actually leaving Dillard and they're going to be a position open. I think you should apply and see what happens. So sure enough, I
Oh,
applied, and that's when I started with you
oh my
back in what,
gosh. So was
2027?
that 2007?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my gosh. How lucky. We had so much fun working
We
at the
did.
counter. I was looking through old pictures and I have pictures of us doing the Rouge Coco launch where we're
Uh-huh.
standing next to the pillar and then like we would go out after and just
Yes.
have fun and spend time, with our friends. So after you finished high school, that's when you started working at Dillard's?
I graduated in '05, and
Okay.
I went to school right away and graduated with my technical diploma. I went straight into the medical field. And so I was there for a couple of years. So I overlapped those two, Dillard's
Okay.
and that, for a little bit. And then I completely left the medical field. And then that's when
You got
I guess
into
my
beauty.
career just went off after that, and I
Yeah.
never went back.
Yeah. What was your technical degree in?
So I was an MA, a medical assistant, and so but I did more of the phlebotomy. So then I went that route and did more lab work and stuff like that. So that's what I did for the Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center. I was their apheresis tech, which is the kind of donation of platelets and plasma and centrifuge and stuff like that, and then returning back the whole blood back into the person's body.
Oh
I
my
know.
gosh. I would pass out. I see a needle and blood, I just pass out. You just reminded me of how you used
Yeah.
to do that. Yeah, I remember you didn't love like the scheduling and it would be really
Scheduling was
challenging.
horrible. As I think I
Yeah.
was young back then. I was 20.
You were
Everybody
20.
else everybody else was, going to the club and having fun, and I'm like stuck at work. And I
Yes,
was
because you had
like,
to get there early, right? Or you would
yes,
be
like three,
late.
yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning, or have like a early morning shift at 1 o'clock, and then wouldn't finish until like 10 p.m. at night. It was just the schedule
Oh,
wasn't great. Great, it was fun, but I was like, I would love to be. I was always creative, and that wasn't necessarily a creative job for me. So that's why I was like, no, let me figure something else out. And just visiting, the counter, the Chanel counter, it was
yeah.
like so luxurious. Everyone was so pretty, and it was decked out in their Chanel, and I was like, this looks so fancy. I was like, I want to do this. And then sure enough,
And then
I
having
applied.
Yeah, then Lucy really inspiring you to just go for it and supporting you in that. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Now, were you still doing your sister's makeup or friends' makeup at the time too,
at
and
the
like
time,
playing
yeah.
more with your artistry skills?
Oh yeah, that's when I started Chanel. I think that's when I truly started dabbing more into the makeup and just asking everybody, "Let me do your makeup." Or even when we went out before, I was like, "Let me do this for you." And that's how I kind of started. I mean, I love it. Like
Yeah.
it's funny because at night, after a long day of work of being surrounded with makeup, I go
Yeah.
to my bed and I'm on my phone watching makeup videos. And my partner, because like he looks over, he goes, "You've been doing that all day. Like you come home and you still keep on watching that." I was like, I have to know what's, what's out
You
there.
truly love it.
Yeah, what's the trends and see how I can incorporate that in my, doing of makeup and style. And
Yeah.
so I'm always, I guess like education never stops because
No.
you can always improve and be better.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you find something that you really love and you connect with it and it fills your spirit and your soul. It's kind of like what I'm doing with the podcasting because I
Mm,
love talking to people. I love hearing about them and their story. And I love technical stuff. And I've been playing around and I've been watching videos. And I find myself looking to do that without even, needing to. And so it
it's
just
fun.
shows how much you love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were at Dillard's and you had started working at Chanel with me, did you feel or find you had support with your family? How was that? Like, was it challenging with your dad and
Well,
really
yeah.
supporting who you were at that time?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing that you say that, so I remember one day I was at the counter and I think I
Okay.
was by myself. I don't think you were there that day. Um, I told my dad or my mom that I got a job at Dillard's because they were so excited that I was working at the medical field. They were proud of me, and here I am quitting this medical field job and going
Yeah.
into retail, right? And so I hit it, and so I did never told my parents. And
Yeah.
obviously, Sugarland not being that big, right, and being only one mall, which is a First Colony mall,
Right.
my dad is a big shopper. He likes to shop. And so I was like, I know I'm going to see him one of these days. Especially, I know he shops at Dillard's. So I was like,
No.
how am I going to tell him? And I guess he beat me to the fact that I never got a chance to tell him. And I saw him at the mall.
No. I've
And
forgotten that.
and so here I am in an appointment, right? I'm doing
Doing
this like
makeup?
doing makeup and I'm here I am, chit-chatting away, not really paying attention to what I'm doing, the
Right.
surroundings, and all I hear is Oscar in my dad's voice. And I look up and we catch eyes and I was like, "Hey dad, I'll see you in a bit. I'm almost done. I'll chat with you afterwards."
Oh, I
And so
bet
I'm like
inside you were just like,
I was like sweating. I was like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do, right? And
right.
so I finished the appointment. He comes around and he goes, "Oh," he goes, "I thought you only sold fragrance." And I was like, "I do. It's right here." And he goes, "Oh, but you do makeup too?" And I was like, "Well, I mean," and I was like trying to throw a lie out there. I told him, Hilary, the girl that
Yeah.
works here, she's, stepped away. I'm just helping out and doing this. And then he
Oh.
goes, "Oh, okay." And then he comes around, my mom comes, I sit her down and I started, putting a little bit of makeup on her. And then my
Oh,
dad
that's
tells me,
amazing.
he goes, "Hey," he goes, "So you do makeup too?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, we cross train
Yeah.
and cross sell. So therefore I help out." And he goes, "Look, I don't care what you do, just be good at it." And I was like, okay, cool. So that was
Oh,
kind of like his blessing of saying,
it's
I'm cool.
okay.
I'm cool with you doing makeup, just be good at
Yeah.
it. Right.
Just be good at it.
And I was like, okay, cool. And so, and he's been super supportive.
Well, that
Like,
brings tears to my eyes
yeah,
because I'm sure that that was such a relief because you're carrying that go home and you don't want to really share too much because you don't want
yeah,
to let him down. And hearing him say those words while you're at the counter doing your mom's makeup or
yeah, touching her
touching
up.
up,
Yeah.
yeah, her makeup.
And he was like, yeah, he's like, yeah, just be good at it. He goes, I don't care what you do, just be good at it. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, thank you for that. And then little by little, being in the makeup industry, getting to know some amazing people, like people that come up to the counter, you start building these relationships with these people.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it just takes you up and up and getting to meet more and more people.
Yeah.
And it opens doors because I've gotten the privilege to do news anchors here in Houston and influential people out there. So it's pretty amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Looking at that moment when you started and you're really just putting yourself out there and being true to who you are and then seeing how just following that love has led you to this amazing career and meeting all these great people, creating that community too with each other and our work family. Oscar,
It's
that's a
pretty,
great story.
yeah, because I think it's pretty awesome what we do, especially because I mean, I'll meet a young lady, right?
Mhm.
Single. She's out, she's going to go out to the town and, she wants to look really pretty. You do her makeup. Then next thing you know it, she has a boyfriend. You're, doing makeup for her dates. And then next thing you know it, it's an engagement, right? And then
Yeah.
it's the wedding. And then you're doing the baby shower. And then next thing you know it, you're doing the little kids' makeup. So that's how
Yeah.
I see in my career. I've had several of my clients that I started off like that,
Yeah.
on their first date, and then their marriage, their wedding, and then their baby shower, and now their first kids dance. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is when I know I'm getting old, when I'm now doing the children's makeup.
Wait, who are you telling? Who are you telling? I'll see women that walk by and they'll be like, Hilary? Like, yeah. And she's like grown adult. She has little kid. You did my makeup when I was going to prom. Time flies by, and then all of a
Oh yeah.
sudden, yeah, your customer has a whole family. So how long after you were at Dillard's and then you moved into the Galleria? How did that
Um,
look?
so what was I? I was at Chanel at Dillard for, I want to say, was it maybe 2 years?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
2 years. I think I left Chanel for a split second and
Mhm.
I picked up freelancing. And I was
Yeah.
freelancing with Chanel at, I believe it was Willowbrook. And I was at
Oh,
one of the Dillard's event that they were having. And I met a friend named Jadoni. And
okay. Yes.
I don't know if you know
Of
Jadoni.
course, yes. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
He
yes.
would come and visit
Uh,
too because he worked for Prescriptives and he would come
yes.
to First Colony and freelancer. So yes.
Yeah.
So
So
funny.
I started freelancing with Chanel and I was in Willowbrook. He was there as well. And he was like, hey, I have a friend that I want you to meet. And that friend was Floor. And she was the regional or territory
Okay.
manager for Laura Mercier. And so when I met her, it was like an instant connection. It's like, when you meet someone, kind of like you and I, like when we first met each other, it was like we knew
Like
each
we
other for
know.
years, right?
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
like a straight connection. And that's how
Yeah.
it was with her. And she was like, hey, I'm looking for a person at Laura Mercier for Nordstrom's, but it's only part time. And I know that, I heard that you were looking for more of a steady
Like full
job,
time.
kind of full time, but I don't have it. But I hear that you're pretty amazing. And I've heard highly things about you from different people that know you. I would love for you to join my team. And I can only offer you, I think it was like 12 hours
Ooh,
at Laura
okay.
Mercier. I know. But here's the thing, the pay was a lot higher. And I
Okay.
was like, okay, like it balances out, higher
Yeah.
hourly, still,
Plus,
plus commission.
yes, and
So I was
great
like,
experience.
you know what? I'll do it. I'll go.
Yeah.
So that's when I got working at Nordstrom and I was there and I started off again only for like 12 hours. And within the month, they said that they had a full-time position. They were basically scaling down the team because at that time the counter wasn't doing that great.
Mm.
And they had too many people for a small counter that wasn't necessarily
Yeah.
growing. So they were like, we're gonna scale back and just make it a smaller team. But because I was there only 12 hours and I
Mhm.
was producing like a full-timer, they were like, oh, so if you can do what a full timer can do in a part time, I think you're worth keeping.
Yes,
So
you'd be
I was like,
amazing on the team as full
so
time.
thank God that my 12-hour position didn't get eliminated. So I joined the team full time, and that was when I was there with it was myself and a girl named Shay. Shay and I were there together, and then there was another person there, and it was just the three of us. We rocked and rolled it. We were just hitting these
Aw, like
amazing
a
numbers.
dream team.
Yes. But I think the reason why we were such a dream team is because we all connected super well.
Yeah.
It never felt like work. It was always fun. It was
Hmm.
exciting.
You had each
And
other's backs. You were going to have fun, sit
yeah,
people down, let me show them
yep.
these colors.
So
And
that's how we
Laura
did
at that
it.
time too is like a really big,
Mhm.
is such a big brand, such great, I think they had a lot of great marketing and a lot of
Oh,
really
yeah.
fun stuff coming out at that time too.
So that was how I got into Nordstrom's with Laura Mercier. And I was there for quite a while, actually. I was there for 9 years. because even after I left Nordstrom's, I was still with Laura. So after leaving Nordstrom's, so my little history with Nordstrom's and Laura Mercier is that I started at 12 hours, and the counter at that time I believe was only 400,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And when I left, I did $1 million for Laura at that time. And so it was the first time that Laura Mercier has ever hit 1 million for Nordstrom's, under
And
Nordstrom's.
Houston too.
And
I mean,
in
one of the biggest
Houston, yeah.
cities.
So it was the first one ever at Nordstrom's that hit 1 million for Laura Mercier within the company. So it was pretty awesome. It was something that I feel like I was really proud of myself
You
for
should
doing.
be. That's
And
fucking awesome.
yeah. And it was only 3 people the whole entire time. So it was pretty awesome that we were able to hit $1 million and with only a 3-person team.
Now,
And that
sorry, I didn't mean
uh,
to cut you
I
off.
don't know. The team used to be really big. I think it was like about 6 to 7 people in that
Wow.
team. And then they scaled back and then just kind of really focused on, I guess, more of the heavy hitters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think like myself, and even I can speak for Shay as well. And then there was a girl named Amanda too, is that we were, yes, I feel that we're great salespeople, but we're not the shark that people, kind of don't
Yeah.
like from salesy people, right? We're not here
Yeah.
like, oh, look at this, and like always constantly wanting to sell them something. It was more
Mm-hmm.
of like building that
Relationship.
relationship. I was like, I don't care if I only sold you one item, but I just
Mm-hmm.
made a best friend, right?
Yeah.
And then constantly every weekend it would be the same face, and little by little the person had every single product in the counter. What else can I sell you? That's when
Yes.
the salesy part actually came out, where we're like, girl, I need to make my numbers, so you already have everything, what else can I sell you? Right? And
Yes.
so, but
Well,
I think
creating that
that's
relationship and building on that trust, because then they come in knowing that you're not trying to sell them. They're just they know you want to show them what works for them, what they'll appreciate,
exactly.
what they'll take home, and then they can actually use it instead of being like, I just have 10 things, I have no clue,
Exactly.
So all of that takes time, but it builds a monster. It creates
Yeah.
just this great business, and people keep coming back.
So yeah, so that was my little, time at Nordstrom's, and then
Not
um
little. That's amazing. Oscar,
and
that's so cool.
thank you. And then I was like, my goal was not to be behind the counter. My goal was to be like a territory manager, account executive, account coordinator, something outside of being behind the counter.
Yeah, really grow
And
in that
mhm,
role and
in that role. And
yeah.
so I left Laura Mercier and then got picked up with Laura Mercier. I left Nordstrom, should I say, and got picked up with Laura themselves, and became the account coordinator for Laura. So I was their account coordinator / regional artist. So I did a little bit of traveling with them within the Houston area, Texas area. So I did that for a couple of years. And after that, that's when Laura Mercier started selling. So
Yeah.
they weren't by themselves anymore. So
Yeah, they were changing.
they were changing, and
Yeah.
I was like, I think this is my end of an era with Laura, even though I
Yeah.
had an amazing time.
Yeah.
I
It was the
feel like,
sign to kind of change things
mhm.
up for you.
And so I left, but I have to say that Laura Mercier definitely was a pillar in my career, because I definitely got a tons of training, because it was not only, sales. Truly, I don't feel like it was sales. It was more of artistry and building relationships with people. And working along with the global team of Laura Mercier was phenomenal.
Wow, what a
Like the,
great experience. Can
oh
you tell
yeah.
me some highlights, the things that you remember when you were doing that?
Oh yeah.
Some great
So
experiences you had?
there was the global artist that basically he was the right hand man of Laura Mercier. So it was like Laura Mercier, and this guy was Benjamin. He was the global artist and trained everybody else. And he was local. He was here in Houston, and he was also a friend. So I was always by his side when I had a chance to, just see his artistry and kind of like ask questions, and like he would come and tell me, you see this, you should do this, and just like it was
Really
pretty awesome.
learned
It was,
from him. He was a mentor, really.
oh, for sure. And then there's another guy named Jentry. He was our trainer, our global trainer, and a fantastic makeup artist too. I remember one time doing an event with him, which they used to be called Face to Face with Laura Mercier. And he would come and do half a face and then hand me the brush and he goes, and Oscar will finish the rest. And I was like sweating bullets. I was like, I was like, you're like, 20, 30 plus years of makeup experience. And I'm like only 8 or 9, at the time. And I was like,
It's very
but
intimidating,
it's super intimidating.
but
He was
you
like,
just
so
do
I was
it.
like, just copy what I did on this side. And I was like, okay. And so that's how I got a lot of my, training in artistry. It's just hanging out with like true,
True
artists.
artists,
Yeah.
yeah, that
And it
really
wasn't,
taught and mentored too. Because sometimes
yeah.
artists, they're like, "This is my trick," but
Hmm.
I have run into that before where
Yeah.
they don't necessarily teach. They just like to kind of show what they do,
Yeah.
you know, on customers. So to
Yeah.
have people that really supported your growth is awesome.
So yeah, so that was pretty cool. And I give my all to them for helping me and, molding me to the makeup artist I am today. So
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome.
Wow. Do you have any client stories kind of from that time that really inspired you? Maybe when you were, I don't know, like kind of thinking, well, maybe this isn't the right fit or this isn't what I want to do. Because I've had that before where you'll have kind of a day where you're just challenged or struggling, and then you meet somebody and you have a moment with them, and you're like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know,
for
just
sure. Yeah. No, I've had that. I mean, I feel like everybody has those moments even like to today, like sometimes
yeah.
you just like reflect on life as like, should I continue this? Like I am,
Is this where I'm supposed to
sometimes you,
be?
yeah. And sure enough, you do someone's makeup or someone tells you how awesome you made them feel
Yeah.
recently. Because leaving actual
Retail.
mall retail, now I work with Jentry Kelley Cosmetics, which she also comes from retail, but now she has her own here in Houston and she has two brick and mortars.
It's
And
amazing. Really
yes,
incredible.
and a lot of my customers, found out that I'm with her and they'll come in and get their makeup done with me there. But a lady recently, probably within the past year or so, she's like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but you did my makeup." And I remember coming into the store feeling total, gaga, like
Yeah.
not good.
Not good.
So, so down on herself. And she goes, "You made me feel so good." And she goes, "And I tell everybody about you." And she goes, you just have this aura and this calmness and this really sweetness about you.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "I just want to let you know how you made me feel." And I was like,
Oh,
trying not to cry.
Oscar. Yeah. That's really
And
beautiful.
she gave me a hug and she was like, to this day, and this was like, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
And you made me feel this way. And I still feel that way. And I was like, oh, and sorry to start crying.
No, it's okay.
But I mean, she comes to the store and she always tells the story and she always lets people know how amazing I am. And I was like,
Yeah. Well, because you
that
are.
feels good.
You're genuinely just a really kind person. You do have that like way about you, your aura and your spirit. And to hear somebody just remind you of that, of what impact you made on their life,
Hmm.
it does. You're definitely well deserving.
I'm good.
I have a funny story. I feel like we're all connected in cosmetics. I know we all say this all the time. Like we're all related to somebody who's related to somebody. So we're all related. I believe Gentry's mom worked at Guerlain. I was
Uh-huh.
at Chanel part time, come in at night, and she was at Guerlain, and she and I would close together a lot. And she spoke a lot about her daughter and how much she admired her and how much she loved her, and would tell me just stories of like when she was younger and raising Gentry, and also about how Gentry was going to start her own makeup brand and how she just thought the world of her daughter. And I never forgotten that. And whenever I would see Gentry sometimes, and I like when we would go to like a Chanel training or she'd come into the
Hmm.
store, but I never really, knew her like I knew her mom, but I just thought that that's so amazing. Like thinking back to you and I working there, and then now you're working for her. So tell me about your position right now, because I don't really actually know.
Yeah. So I am the general manager for her at Chantecaille Cosmetics. So like I said, we have two brick and mortars. So we have one on 59 and Shepherd and the other one on I-10 and Eldridge on the west side of Houston.
Okay.
And we have 9 retailers. So I help manage obviously both stores, all the artists that are there, and also the retailers that we
The
have as well.
retailers.
So
Wow.
helping with their orders and just
Okay.
communicating with them on things that they need to know about upcoming, product launches and discontinued items and stuff like that.
Wow, that's
That's my,
amazing.
yeah.
It's
And so,
incredible.
yeah, and so right now I believe I have about, I think I want to say 15 girls that do makeup for us, and some of them are hybrid, so they do hair and makeup. And so we offer both services at the store.
Wow, with the
Yeah.
stores. It's
So I love it.
wonderful.
I always like it. It never feels like work. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, work can be stressful. Of
Yeah.
course, any job has stress to it, but
Right.
it never feels like work. And especially when you like who you work with,
Hmm.
too, it makes a big difference.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
like, I mean, when I was the counter manager at Laura Mercier at Nordstrom's, Jentry was the counter manager for Laura Mercier at Neiman's. So that's how our connection came about, right? So,
Okay.
and hanging out with Gentry and stuff, she would say like, "Oh, I'm gonna make my own makeup line and stuff like that," and and I was like, "Yeah, that's amazing. Like, go for it, right?" And then
Uh-huh.
so she did, and I remember going with her to her house when she started off with just lip products like
Ugh.
lipstick, lip gloss, and labeling and naming products and coming up with, picking out colors and doing that. She was like, she would tell me, I need some help. And I was like, well, she was like, I can't pay you, but, um,
But I
if
could
you could
use
help
your
me
advice
out.
and support. Yeah.
And I was like, hey, if you can make some dinner for me, I'll come over after work and I'll help you out. And sure enough, I did that for her for a couple of years. So I feel like I've been with her since the very
Since
beginning,
the beginning.
labeling, in her kitchen table,
Oh.
eating spaghetti that she would make. And so yeah, so she left Neiman's. I was still with Laura, and then I left Laura completely, and I went to actually property management. And but before that, I did work at a salon, several
Okay.
salons as a makeup artist. And at one of the salons that I used to work at, we brought in Jentry Kelley Cosmetics, and that's how I kind of still was connected with Jentry. I would, sell her product in the salon that I worked at,
Wow.
and I constantly always, supported her in freelancing. And
Hmm.
anytime she has some type of event, I would go with her. I remember us going into her car and driving to League City, and we're basically doing night parties at these ladies' houses at 8 p.m. at night,
Oh, how fun.
hauling makeup in and out of the trunk. And it was fun. And it was pretty awesome seeing how she just started with only a few products, and now she has, whew, I say more than 500 SKUs,
Wow.
that we sell.
I
And
mean,
it's,
just all that hard work and
mhm,
dreams and just focus, determination just completely
yeah,
paid off. Because I've seen her too. I know sometimes like, you guys will go on like the news channel or promote, different spaces, and
yeah.
it's really amazing the growth.
Oh yeah. I feel like a lot of people wish and really strive to, have something of their own. But if you truly do not have that hustle, and
Hmm.
that focus and that dedication, I was like, then, things don't happen. And you can never, when you feel like you've hit a block and you just give up, I mean, that's worse. A lot of people stop. But
Yeah.
that's one thing I admire about Gentry, is that she's constantly like, she'll hit a wall and then she'll break it down and go on to the next one. And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's a constant, movement, and kind of just always, trying to stay focused and not lose the purpose of why you are doing this and why you do it.
Yeah.
And it's the love and the passion of doing makeup, and it's more of connecting and making people
Yeah.
feel special.
Feel special, feel
Uh-huh.
good. And when they have tried these products that make them feel so good and they leave and they come back and they feel so much more confident knowing that you
Uh-huh.
had an impact on them. That's really
Yeah.
awesome. I know I admire that about you and your determination with your career and looking and seeing from when I met you, you know, when you were in high school and then to where you are now running and helping support this business of one of your dear friends. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm curious now when you're like doing makeup, do you ever find yourself getting a little anxious or nervous or excited? Because I know you do a lot of makeup for weddings and
Uh-huh.
events, or like when you go and do makeup for people on TV. How do you handle that, or do you still find yourself getting nervous at all?
Um, I don't feel like I get nervous. I actually, when there's a challenge, I get excited. So it's
Oh,
more like,
like
when
bring
you,
it.
yes, when you get that customer, like, someone who has like really problematic skin,
Yeah.
like when it's not necessarily because they're not taking care of themselves, it can be like medical, right?
Yeah. Well, I
Like
get
taking,
hormonal acne, so I can totally relate. It's
yeah,
such a challenge.
even like being here in Houston, we get people that come from out of the country or even out of the state that come to Houston for, medical care.
Yes.
And the cool thing is that people know us and they'll come like, oh, I visited in Houston,
Hmm.
so they come in and I've had, some people are going through, chemo or something, and
Hmm.
the skin isn't just there, because
Yeah.
of all the medicine. And
Like
I think that,
dehydrated and
and
yeah.
I think that's the kind of like a challenge part where you're kind of helping them figure out how to make themselves look good because they know that right now it's just not happening for them, and kind of giving them the tips and tricks on how to make their makeup look good, even
Hmm.
though that they know that the skin isn't necessarily their best right now. And so
Yeah.
I think that right there is a challenge and is an exciting challenge. But I don't get nervous anymore. I don't, there hasn't been anything that's gotten me kind of like hot and bothered where like, what do I do?
Uh-huh.
And so I think it's more when the challenges come, it's more of an excitement. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yes, I haven't done this in a while, or this is a challenge that I know I can, accomplish. And it's
Yeah.
just getting to the point where you've the finished product, and
And
I think that's
focusing
the
on the
most,
person in front of you
yeah.
and just supporting them and what they need so they feel good when they leave.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, I don't get nervous anymore. Just excited when I do get challenges.
I love that. Is there I know we're getting kind of close to the end. I've had you for almost an hour. But I want to know if there's any products, trends, or styles, fashion, or fragrance, anything that was discontinued or things that you kind of missed.
Yeah. Trends. One thing that I'm not a fan of is trends. I feel I feel classic, and just a classic look and just an elegant look is timeless. And I feel like these trends kind of the few trends I can't stand right now is blush under the eyes. Can't stand it.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
I feel like everybody looks like they have sunburns. I was like, that is not
Not your
cute.
favorite.
No.
Is that when they do
Uh,
the blush like here and then it's like goes
yeah,
up like
yeah,
really?
like,
Oh,
and I
yeah,
was like,
I can't
no, I was
even.
like, nah, not cute. I was just keep it simple, timeless, classy.
Yeah.
That's totally more my style, but that's my opinion. And then obviously for me, one of the things that I miss would probably be a fragrance
Okay.
that has been discontinued and it smells so good. It was a Lacoste. It's called Essential. It was a
Oh.
green fragrance in a bottle from Lacoste, and it smells so good. And they discontinued it. And so anytime I find one, I was like, I know this is really old because I know they don't make it anymore or it's a knockoff. But
Right. But I'm taking
it,
it.
Uh-huh.
Aw.
But it's one of the things that I miss.
Did you wear
And
that in
then
high school or?
I did.
Yes.
I think it was one of my my first ever fragrance that I've ever bought on my own, and I think it was because of my dad got me into it. Was the Cool Water.
Yes. I
Because it
love
was
me some cool
inexpensive.
water. Yes.
Yeah,
I love
it
that
did it. It
smell.
had a comeback. So Cool Water, but then my first fragrance ever that I bought myself was that one, and then that's when I started knowing more luxury. When that's when Chanel came about and
Uh,
all that stuff.
kind
But
of launched this whole
yeah,
journey that you've taken. Oh.
yeah.
Well, do you have any favorites right now before we go?
Favorites. Well, favorites from the brand that I work for.
Of course.
One thing, and I'll definitely get you one so you can try it out.
Aw.
Is our photo filter foundation. So in the name, it tells you because it's a filter for your face. It's a photo filter
Wow.
foundation. So it literally looks like you have a filter on your face.
Oh my gosh.
And it's one of our top selling foundations because it literally makes you look like you have a filter. It just evens
Wow. Just
out
gives you
the
that like
complexion,
blurred, beautiful
that blurred.
complexion.
So that's my favorite product, and I use it on everybody, even though it might not be for everybody because it's good. It's not good for really oily skin, but I wear it, and I mean, I have some on right now.
Oh, wow. Well, your skin looks beautiful.
Yeah,
Looks really good. Yeah, I'm
thank you.
excited to try it. I love foundation. It's easy to apply and that just works with photos or you could wear every day.
Yeah.
Easier the better for me. Wow. Well, Oscar, is there anything that you wanted to share before we go? I just thank you so much, of course, for being here and I
Uh,
appreciate you so much.
no, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. I just love the fact that it's kind of like, a full circle because I started with you, right? And our relationship as friends, like seeing you have the children that you have, and they're all grown now.
I know. My first is 24. So
Oh,
Trin is in Austin and
that's
Matt,
wild.
yeah, I is 20 and Max is soon to be 18. And I know it is wild. And imagine I mean, not to highlight this again, but that you're almost 40, even though you look like you're in your
Yes.
early 20s. But yeah,
Thanks to Botox. Yes.
yeah, human. I get
I know, right?
it. Oh, but thank you
Yes.
again. And I love you so much. And I'm so
I love you
thankful that
too.
you joined me here today. I'm sorry, it's
Yes.
discontinued.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, Oscar.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Sorry It's Discontinued. If you love hearing about the real voices from behind the counter, be sure to follow the show, leave a review, or share this episode with another fan of fashion, fragrance, or just anything retail. And if you've got a story to tell or an idea for a future episode, I'd love to hear from you. Just head to sorryitsdiscontinued.com. Send me a message. This podcast is independently produced and not affiliated with or sponsored by any brands or companies or retail stores mentioned. All stories and opinions are personal and reflect the views of the individual speaking. We speak honestly, but this space is meant to be respectful of the brands, stores, and careers we've all worked really hard for. This show is about connection, the challenges of working in this industry, but also the inspiration we get from each other. So until next time, thank you for being here. And remember, a smile can brighten someone's day, whether you're behind the counter or in front of it. I can't wait to have a seat with you the next episode. Bye. Sorry. It's discontinued.